Hello everyone, Krydax here, and welcome to Bombe. I don't know if you pronounce the E or not. So this is a game about logic puzzles, and it is very, very, very interesting. I've played it for a good few hours at this point. A bunch of other people on the Discord have been playing it. We've been talking about it. We're all kind of obsessed with it right now. And you might be too. It's pretty cheap. It's $5 on Steam. I'll put a link in the video description. And yeah, we're just gonna dive right in. It's a little hard to explain without showing you. And the UI for this game is pretty clumsy, to put it kindly. It's kind of hard to figure out at first. But once you get it figured out, it works fine. So yeah, if you know what Minesweeper is, it's a game where there are numbers that show you how many bombs are in the surrounding cells. And in this particular game, you start out with a hexagon, I don't know why I said hexagon, a hexagon grid that is a little different than the squares, you know, because with the squares you have 8 tiles around each one, whereas here you only have 6 tiles. So a hexagon Minesweeper grid is actually easier in the sense that there's less possibilities than a square. And so this is the tutorial that you get when you first boot up the game. You can't actually get back to it. So I reset all my data and we're starting from square one, or should I say hexagon one. And yeah, we'll show you what this game is all about. So you double click on one of these things. By the way, this is showing you like what the options are based on the number. There's a 1 here. There's already a bomb next to it. So that means this can have 0 bombs in it. The game automatically puts those numbers into the squares or hexagons or whatever for you. So then you double click on it and it brings up what's called the rule constructor over here. And this is the main point of the game. You basically automate the rules. You automate what it does. And you can set it to automatically clear whenever there's a cell that you know doesn't have a bomb in it that's 1 square large. This is kind of a confusing interface at first, but this is essentially saying there's a section with 0 bombs in it. It's 1 square, and I'm just going to use the word square, even though they're not all squares. It's 1 shape large, and you want to clear that because you know it's not a bomb. So you want to open this square up and see what it is. It's equivalent to clicking on it in the old school Minesweeper. So you hit OK, and then we see that that's a 2 now. And it automatically fills in that there's 1 bomb between these 2. Again, I'm going to call them squares. Maybe sections is a better word. I don't know. Because we already have 1 bomb next to it here. Now, I don't know which of those 2 sections it is. And so I can't do anything with that rule. Cell. Yeah, I should call them cells. That's right. That's what they're called in Minesweeper anyway. But there's another rule that I can make pretty handily over here because we know that this 2 already has its bombs figured out and we know these cells are going to be empty, so we can go to rule constructor or we can add to rule constructor. This confused me at first because when you select a region, you have to add it to the rule constructor to be able to actually make a rule. If you just go to rule constructor, there's nothing here. That confused me at first. So you click on that and you can add to rule constructor, or you can just double click like we did at first. And then again, if we know there's 0 bombs in a section of 2 cells large, we want to clear it. And you put the little clear in the bottom right and hit OK. And now that rule is there and it will keep doing that rule automatically forever. And that applies to future levels. And you can see there's a lot of levels in this game, which is pretty cool. But you don't solve most of them because you make enough rules and they automatically solve themselves, which is really cool. Here's another simple one. We know that there's 1 bomb in 1 cell. Well, guess what? That's going to be a bomb. So we double click it, we select the bomb, put that in there, and it will automatically mark it as a bomb. Bam. One thing I don't know, I'm curious now. I'm going to remove the rule. After you make it, you can immediately remove it if you want. It'll stay there because the progress on the level stays, and so you can refresh regions. Didn't actually work. Interesting. Maybe it's because this is the first level, it's a little different. Normally it recreates the whole level from scratch. At least I thought it did. Anyway, I'm curious if you clear all the regions, what's the word? If you clear all the regions that are clear and there's only bombs left, I don't know if it autofills the bombs or not. Anyway, here's a region with 2, and it has 2 bombs in it. Size 2. I'm still not used to double clicking because the first few hours I didn't even know you could double click. But we know those are going to be bombs, and we have to mark them as bombs, and then that will clear out the 1, right? Because the 1 will get its bomb here, so we know that one will be clear. And there's a 0, and it automatically put that in for us. And that's the first level, and the first few rules that we have, we can come and see the list of rules that we've made, and we can remove them or edit them. You can also see how many times it's been applied. You can, I think, change their priority if you get super fancy later. This game is crazy. And then the speed up here is the speed at which it will auto-solve. Later on, you just kind of have it at max and it does things pretty much instantaneously, but it's pretty cool to see it work at first, so I leave it on pretty low. And yeah, let's get to solving here. So we've got some overlapping regions and we need to figure out what the heck to do with them. Here's an easy one. We know there's 4 bombs in 4 cells, so we're just going to mark those as bombs and be done with it. And then that obviously changes these guys around. Here's 1 bomb in 1 cell. That's easy. Again, I'm not used to double clicking. And that'll automatically solve itself. And you saw the rest of them. Look at these solving themselves. Glorious. Okay, here's a new one. 0 in 3 cells. Oh, those are not bombs. And here's another thing I haven't mentioned yet. The game will not let you make impossible rules, or I should say false rules. And that is really helpful once you get into more complicated scenarios. If it were to let you make false rules, that would be really annoying because you'd end up getting stuck over and over and over again. It does let you kind of do some trial and error sometimes and find out rules you couldn't have figured out on your own. We'll try to not use that for as long as we can, because that doesn't feel very legit to me. But we're going to clear out these cells, and there you go. Beautiful to watch it work, isn't it? So it's Minesweeper automation, where you make the rules and it follows them. And you can increase the speed a little bit here. And eventually it's going to run into a scenario that we haven't run into yet, like this one. 3 cells, 3 bombs. So we're going to go ahead and mark those as bombs, because that's an easy one. And whenever it runs into 3 cells with 3 bombs again, it'll figure it out. 5 cells with 5 bombs, also easy. And so you can see as you have more and more rules, it can solve more and more complicated situations. So we'll go ahead and, oop. So we just unlocked some new features. They're confusing at first, but they're important. You can set the number of cells to be, I don't care how many cells there are in this section. And then we haven't talked about multiple regions yet. We will. And we haven't talked about even making new regions. But for focusing on this one, I don't care means all possible numbers that could theoretically exist in this setup. It doesn't mean every number, because sometimes 0 wouldn't work. For example, you can't have a region of size 0. But it does everything that could work. And this is an example rule of, like, if I know there's 0 bombs in any amount of cells, I want to clear them. And that way you only need 1 rule instead of a different rule for each amount. So that's super handy. This is showing you how multiple regions interacting can work. If you have, and this is hard to see from here, but this is essentially saying there's a region with 1 bomb in it that has both of its cells overlapping with another region that has 1 bomb in it. So we know there's a bomb here in one of these 2 cells, and that means there can't be a bomb in this other cell, because this guy also only has 1 bomb. So it's easier to see when the actual regions are shown. And then you can also make new regions, which it's showing an example of here, and we'll get to that later. These are all like the tutorial pages. I don't know why we didn't go through this earlier. I guess we could have. That's just showing you the basics. Later on, we get these triangle shapes, which are really weird because this is connected to like all of these as well. So it has a whole crap ton of neighbors. Here it shows you in a very confusing way. You kind of like, which way are your eyes supposed to go? This is not. This game needs a better tutorial, but it's. You figured out. We kind of already talked about all these things, I think. Yeah, double click on a region. You enter the number of cells here, which again, normally you don't change that, especially in the beginning. So it's kind of a confusing, like, why is it telling you to do that? Here, it could have more sentences to help you understand what the heck's going on. And then you click OK to make the rule happen. We already did all that. And then this is just showing you different types of numbers in the game. So you'll see this in a second, but we can have options such as if there are 2 or more cells here, or 4 or 6, or not 4, or 3, 5, or 7, or any additions of 2 past 1, which would be all the odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc. You can also make rules invisible, or you can trash rules, which I haven't actually used that yet. Don't totally understand how to do that. Or I should say how to use it in a way that is necessary or makes sense. I have done some hidden ones before. And then you unlock more levels as you go, and you get new grid shapes, and you can double click to test all levels again. As we go down, we get larger grids, and as we go over, we get more complex grids, meaning it uses things like there's 1 or more bombs around this cell instead of just there's 1 bomb. So you'll see all this. We'll work our way diagonally pretty quick. These first ones are pretty easy. So here we have an interesting one. We're going to have to deal with an overlap because neither of these is solvable alone, right? We know there's 1 cell in these 4. We know there's 5 in these 6. However, there's only 1 freebie, right? There's only 1 empty cell around this 5. And it's got to be here because we can't fill both of these cells, because if we did, the 1 region would be overloaded. So what we're going to do is we're going to add both to our rule constructor. Oh, this still needs 1 more level to unlock. It showed me the feature 1 level before it should have. Anyway, so what we know is that one of these 2 cells is going to be a bomb, right? Because if it wasn't, there would only be 4 bombs around the 5. So that means these 2 have to be clear. So we can go ahead and clear out those over there. This is where a don't care can come in handy, because we don't really care how many other squares, I'm just going to say squares too much. We don't care how many other cells this 1 extended itself into. They're all going to be clear. So if we put a don't care right there, then that's going to help out a lot in the future, because let's say there was one where it only extended to here and not to here, then it would only be size 3. Well, now this rule will also apply to the one where there's size 3. So super handy to use the don't care wherever you can, because it'll make your rules more generic. And generic rules are going to solve more situations. So we hit OK, and it looks like that solved the rest of the level for us. Here's a new one. 0 of size 4. And now there's the feature they just showed us. We can select all sorts of different things. We'll use that soon. But essentially you can pick whatever number you want, and then there's options for like, oops, I don't know how I did that. There's options for, okay, if there's 1 or less, 1 or more, not 1, 1 or 2, 1 or 3, 1 or 4, 1, 2 or 3, 1, 3 or 5, 1 plus any multiple of 2. It's all very interesting. For now, we want to do that don't care 0 clear rule. I don't care how big the region is. If it's got 0 bombs in it, you clear the whole thing. And then, wow, it's going ham. Look at that. We can go back into the rules and delete the other ones we had, because they're now superseded by the don't care one. You don't really need to do this. It'll just save on my rules list, and levels will solve slightly faster, maybe? I don't know if they actually will. And I don't think the priority matters at this point in the game. Okay, so now you can see how quickly this game gets confusing and brain melting. We haven't even started yet. Because, like, what is all this? What's going on here? One thing I like to do is hide unnecessary rules where I can. Like this one, I know... Oh, I can't hide it yet. Never mind. You unlock the hiding feature later. But this is essentially a useless rule. Because I know there's a bomb here, or there isn't. Right? And that doesn't help me solve any of these things. Because the bomb could be here or the bomb could be here. It's just a binary this or that. And it doesn't really give me any extra information. So I know whatever I figure out is going to be from these 3 rules. And I think these 2 alone are going to be pretty handy for me. Because I know there's a bomb in this blue area, which means this teal one can't have a bomb over here. And you start to see, it's like seeing in the Matrix, you know, where it's like, oh, all I see is blonde or redhead, the quote from the Matrix. You kind of start to understand how these overlaps work, especially because you can select up to 4 regions. And let me say, this does get a little confusing. But for now, we only need the 2. And we're going to clear the ones that are outside the overlapped region, because we know that the bomb has to be in this section. This is another good spot for don't cares. I don't care how many overlaps there are. We know the bomb is in the overlapped section. And I don't care how many extra bits there are on the outside, because we know there's not a bomb there. Now, I can't put the don't care here, because if this blue one had extra bits to its region, then the bomb for this one could be outside the teal, and our rule wouldn't make sense anymore, so it won't let me do that. And that's why you can't just put don't cares everywhere. Make that rule. Let's see. We know... So here's an interesting one. We know there's 2 cells, or 2 bombs. So they can't both be here, right? Because there's only 1 bomb in this area. And so we know this guy has to be a bomb out here. One of the bombs has to be out there. And we can probably get some don't cares in there. We can't do it out here, because if this 2 extended, then both bombs could be out here. So that's not an option. I do think we can say we don't care how many overlaps there are, and I think we can say we don't care how many extra bits there are to the 1 region. And then we'll hit OK. And then I'm going to turn up the speed a little bit more. All right, what do we got here? Similar situation. There's a 1 region. This is a useless rule. It's not telling us anything. Usually when you have a region that only pokes into 1 square of 1 other region, I said square again, then it's usually useless, because it's not combining information about anything. Like this 3 already is telling us there's a bomb here or there isn't. And that's really all the 1 is telling us. So it could get useful later, but it's not useful now. So these 2 rules, similar situation as last time. We know there's 3 bombs in here. We can't have 2 blanks, and we can't have 2 bombs here. So that means there is exactly 1 bomb in these 2 cells, which means there's not a bomb in the bit of the 1. Another way to think about it is there is 2 bombs in the other bits of the 3. Which one's more useful? One thing I don't love, and maybe this is good for simplicity for the game, but you can't make clears and bombs in the same rule. We know these are both true. We know the bombs are out here, and we know that one is clear, but we can't do both. You can do multiple clears in the same rule, or multiple bombs in the same rule, but you can't do clears and bombs in the same rule. In any case, I think clears are generally more useful than bombs, because they give you new information about more bombs. But I guess that depends. Maybe like putting 7 bombs on the grid would be better than clearing 1 cell. In this case, we'd only put 2. So yeah, I don't actually know. So we're going to go with the clear. Again, we don't care how many are outside the region, and we don't care how many overlaps there are, but we do need exactly 2 cells outside. So we'll go ahead and hit OK. And this is where, okay, so that didn't really help us. Sometimes the game throws a don't care into your grid, and so it's not really telling you how many bombs are around it. And so now we're going to duplicate the rule, and we're going to do the reverse. We're going to bomb the other 2. And so when you want to do both, like Dave is saying right now, you can go ahead and duplicate it and put the bomb. And so now it will do both of those things, but it does make 2 rules. So if your goal is to reduce the number of rules, you want to think about which one's faster, maybe, or more efficient. So what's going on here? We know a bomb. This one's interesting, actually. We have a 1 that is completely within. It is a subset, if we want to use fancy words. It is a subset of the 2. And what that means is we can make a new region. Because we know there's 1 here. We know the other one of the 2 is going to be in these 3 cells. And so I can do that. And again, we can do a don't care, don't care. I don't care how many overlaps there are for the 1. There's 1 bomb in that region, and there's 1 bomb in this region. I can't put a don't care there, however. And then that new region ended up giving enough information for my other rules to solve a bunch. So there you go. We've already solved. And sometimes you double click and it refreshes and gives you different rules that your rules can now solve, or different challenges. But eventually, go ahead and turn the speed all the way up. Eventually, it will hit a situation that your rules cannot solve, and you'll keep running up against the same one. So you can see it keeps making the same level. I don't know exactly how these levels are generated, but I do know they're always solvable, which is nice. So this is actually the same thing we've seen before, but with a 2 and a 3. Like, we know that the 4 has to put 1 of its bombs, or 2 of its bombs, but it can't put 2 in these 2 cells. And so we know this is clear. And we don't care how many are out there. I think we don't care about the overlap. But this does have to be 3, because otherwise we could put all 4 of the bombs out here, potentially. Okay. That solved another one of these remaining levels. And there's still 2 levels in this first area we can't solve with our current rule set. And you can see we've unlocked... wow. So our rule set solved a lot of the larger grids, but these are the larger grids, and more things are possible in larger grids, so you need more rules. And then these are more complicated grids. You can see here it's saying there's 0 or less bombs around this cell. Hint, that's the same as 0. There are no negative bombs. And this is saying there's, at least not yet. I guess maybe there are negative bombs later in the game. And it's saying there's 2 or more bombs around this, which is obviously very different, because that's 2 or 3. And that's very different than knowing the number. So we'll get to those later. I like to focus on the size first, and then the more complicated after. So anyway, let's finish off this section of small grids. I think this one is going to be one where, since the 1 is completely contained within the 3, we know that there's a region of 2 outside that. I think that's the handiest. And again, it needs to be completely contained, so I can't change the amount of the 1 that's inside of it. That solved that one, and it looks like we have 1 more to solve, which is a chain of 3 things. And I don't think we can solve this with just 2 regions, because any of these 2 regions really don't have any information. Like, the 3 could have a bomb here or not, the 1 could have a bomb here or not. So we have to combine all 3 rules, and now is when it starts to get a little confusing to your eyes, until you learn to read the matrix, like, what is happening here? You know, you've got, it's like a Venn diagram, right? The 3 is overlapping with the 1 in that cell. 3 is overlapping with the other 1, and their colors are both greenish, which is kind of annoying. But it helps that it highlights what cells you're looking at, for sure. Right, Aaron? This game is great. Highly recommend it. Go get it. It's amazing. Okay, so what we know is that there is at least one bomb in, I'll call these the wings. That's how my brain thinks about it. They're like little wingtips, or the ends of the 3. There's at least one bomb. There could be 2. So let's think about our options. If there's 2, then that means these are all blank, because the ones have been satisfied. That seems possible. So that logic didn't seem to help me. What if there was only one of them? If there was a bomb here, then these would be clear. That doesn't really tell me much. So sometimes you're like, I'm not really getting anywhere. Well, ask yourself a different question. What about this overlap? Can there be a bomb here? If there's a bomb here, then that means both of the ones are satisfied, and there cannot be a bomb here or here, and that's impossible, because then we wouldn't have enough room left for the 3. So we know the overlap of the ones is clear, and that is this cell. We wouldn't care how many overlaps there are. And then this is where you start to get kind of confused, because it's like, how many of these do we not care about? And sometimes it, like this one, this could extend out any number of places, and that wouldn't matter. Same with that one. So those are both don't cares. I don't think we care how many overlaps there would be between this region and the wing of the 3. Yeah, that's correct, and same for the other. But this has to be 2. If this wasn't 2, the rule wouldn't work, because that's how we know there's at least 1 here, and there can't be 0. So it kind of is amazing how many of the amounts you don't care about sometimes. And then this one, there's nothing. There's no overlap between all 3 of them. And it's interesting because, like, if there was, would it matter? And I think the answer is no, because if this 3 extended into this square, it would still be clear. Like, we know this cell is clear either way. So you might as well throw that in there, because who knows, maybe there will be a time later down the road where it would matter. So there you go. We've now solved the first section, and we're going to go ahead and refresh this one. And our new rules solved a lot more of these. You can double click on the hexagon and it'll go through all the hexagon sections and solve. Look at this. Just solving things left and right. We're already into the 4th size of grid, 5th size. It's amazing what a few rules can do. You know, if you slow it down, it can be kind of cool to watch. Sometimes watch it work its magic. Very satisfying. Who needs to play Minesweeper when your Minesweeper can play itself, right? Beautiful. Really fun to watch. Okay, I'm gonna speed it up again. They solve a little slower because there's a lot of steps to each of these. But yeah, it's interesting how many... It's like the bigger the level is, it almost doesn't matter because there's only so many situations you can run into in a hexagon grid. Right? Like, there's only a maximum of 6. And I don't know if they ever have 6s. Have we seen 6s? Okay, see, now it's trying to solve the other ones, and it's not going to solve any of them, because these are all different types of clues, and we don't have any rules for these types of regions yet, so that's why it's not working to solve. Let's try to finish out the main ones. We'll call it Hexagon 1, all the sizes. So here we've got another kind of double thing. Now, I know from previous experience what I am going to do with these 2, but we won't do it yet until we need to. So we're going to need all 3 regions. Yeah, Archcraft, to reset my game, I had to go into my documents or the app data roaming and like delete the save file to get it to do the tutorial again. And it's only like the very first time you start it up. Okay, so here's one where you... Let's see, could you have a bomb here is the question, and I think that's a no, right? Same as before with the 3 region. Like, if there was a bomb here, it would mean there's no bombs here, because the 1s are fulfilled, and now there's not enough space for 2 bombs. So we're going to go ahead and clear out the overlap between the 1 and the 1. We wouldn't care how many overlaps there are. We wouldn't care if there's extra bits of the 1 and the 1. We don't care how many overlaps there are with the 2, and it's actually the same as the rule with the 3. It's just a 1 and a 2 instead of a 2 and a 3 right here. Okay, now what? Let's see. This one's interesting. So this one is useless, right? It's telling us nothing. But these 3 together, I think, are going to be useful, because we know there's a maximum of 1 here, and there's a maximum of 1 here, and that means this one will be a bomb, no matter what. I don't know if that will solve it for us, but we'll add that in. We know there will be a bomb there, and we do need that to be 1. This overlap wouldn't matter, that overlap wouldn't matter, those extras wouldn't matter. If the 1s had an overlap here, I think that would break. Oh, wait, it wouldn't. What? See, this is where my brain really starts to hurt. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't break because we know the bomb of that region is going to be in the 3 section. So if these both extended into here, that'd be fine. And if they all overlapped somewhere else, that would also be fine. Again, it's just utterly brain-breaking to me sometimes. Sometimes I don't understand how to understand the don't cares. And you can see that helped, but it didn't fix it. We still kind of have the core issues. So I might delete the rule and try to approach it from the way that will actually fix it. That could help, but I'd rather go back to the drawing board and figure out oh, I need to delete the rule. Where'd it go? You remove it. Then we can go back, refresh region. What? This has worked for me before, I thought. I guess you have to click on it again. Maybe it didn't work for me before. Dave, it works when you haven't identified any bombs yet. That's the difference. If you've already marked bombs, it doesn't undo that. But it does undo making the regions. So that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, so anyway, we've got these 3. And so we want to clear something, or what do we want to do? We want this to be 1 and this to be 1. So I guess we can clear the wings of the 1s. Maybe that's better. And I think we can do all the same don't cares that we did before. That one needs to be a single. Yeah, that seemed to solve it. Oh, here's a 6. We hadn't dealt with a 6 before. Here we go. We bomb it. Oop, I think I right-clicked. There we go. And now we've got this mess to deal with. Beautiful. Okay. So there's a maximum of 1 here because of this region. There's a maximum of 1 here. Which means there will be 1 here and there will be 1 here because we need 2 bombs. So we can erase the outer regions of these 1s. I won't spoil anything, Archcraft, but there are some locks down here indicating that there are some other features we unlock in the game eventually. Right next to where all the numbers are. Interesting, isn't it? So, what did we say? We're going to erase the wings. We don't care how big those wings are. This is where things get confusing. I don't think we care how much that overlap is or that overlap is. I don't think we care about overlaps between the ones or an overlap between all three. So confusing. That worked. And now we have this one. This is one where a lot of people get stuck. So far, everyone on the Discord has gotten stuck here. And it's because you can't solve it without making a region. And that's why it's tricky. Because at this point, I hadn't made a region yet. I didn't even really understand you could make regions. Like, I had seen the tutorial, but it blew by so fast and almost too early in the game for me to even understand what I was doing. So here, we have a 3 that's connected to a 1, 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 that connects back to the 3. That's 5 regions. And you can't select 5 regions. It won't let you. So then how do we do it? And if you try to make rules with just these 4 regions, you'll find that it doesn't really work. I mean, technically there are some things you could do, but you would have to make regions. Like, I don't think we can clear or bomb any of these. Unless you can connect all 5 regions. This one's useless, by the way. It's just, I don't know what we're going to call those. Vestigial region. So, one thing that I've done before, and there are a lot of options here. At least I'm guessing there's a lot of options. But we know, so if you have 2 1 regions that are connected with an overlap, there's only a couple options. You can have the bomb in the overlap, and then the wings are empty. Or you can have the bombs in the wings, and then the overlap's empty. It's either or. So what I did is I know a 0 or a 2 is in the wings, right? Like, either these are blank or they're both bombs. And I don't think we care about the size of any of those regions, the sub-regions. And so what this will do when we hit OK is it's going to plop down a bunch of new regions based on my rule, which this can get overwhelming fast. You have to kind of like really try to focus on what you're looking at and not focus on the rest. Because now these 0-2s are bridging the gap, so to speak. Like, we can see that I can select the 3, a 0-2, and a 0-2. And now we're going to be able to make a rule that will actually solve the puzzle. And those 1s are still there, and they're still true, but we're not really needing to use them anymore. So this 0-2 kind of makes a bridge. It's like an information bridge over the chain of 1s. So what do we know? And this is where I stop looking at the grid and I start looking at the rule constructor, because sometimes it's actually easier. I know there's 0 or 2 in these cells. So let's think. If there's 0, what happens? Well, now these are all... there's 3 that still need to be put into this region, and it can't go here. So they'd all be here, or they'd all be here. And that's not possible because now this would be a 2, because it can't be 1 bomb. So it's 0 bombs or 2 bombs. And so it'd have to be 2 bombs, but we just said this was 0 bombs. So we just did a proof by contradiction that this cannot be 0 bombs, therefore it must be 2 bombs. And you see that the rule would support us doing that. And since we know this is 2 bombs, we know this one is 2 bombs, right? And now we've probably mostly solved the puzzle. And now we have to ask ourselves, can we do any don't cares? And probably, sometimes I don't really know. Let's see. I guess we do care because it's a 0-2. There has to be exactly 1 overlap. We don't care anywhere. No, everything has to be exactly as is. Interesting. I guess that makes sense, because this is... The important thing about this region is it's only a 2 size region. If the region was bigger, it would change the logic. Like if it had extra bits that extended out to here. The 2 bombs of it could be out here. That wouldn't interact with these. Makes sense. feel like the intersection between these two could be bigger, though. No, because then the second bomb of these two could be in both of those, and it wouldn't touch the 3. So yeah, I guess everything matters there. Ta-da! Level 2 solved. Let's see how number 3 goes. Oh my. So you can see our 0-2s are causing havoc, and that can be fun to deal with. Let's see how many more get solved with all of this goodness. It's like quite a few. Okay, I'm guessing this is a similar scenario with the 0-2s, but it's going to be hard to untangle. There's a lot of 0-2s. Trying to see if there's a 1 that overlaps entirely with a 0-2, because that would be an easy rule to make. But I'm not seeing anything quite like that. I'm guessing we're going to need to do the same thing with the 4 that we did with the 3 and the 0-2s. Maybe this 1 and the 0-2s can do something for me. No, because the 1 could be here. These ones are also interesting. Can I do anything there? No. I could make more 0-2s. The 1 is either here or it's here. Anything I can do here? I don't think so. Because the 4 could have 3 bombs here and 1 here. Or it could have 1 in each and 2 bombs there. And see, it shows you that's illogical because, and then it shows you what could happen that would make it impossible. Oh yeah, you're right. The 0-2s do come from those ones. So that means... In this case, though, I don't think I need the 0-2s because I have the 1s, right? No, I just did that. You know, here's what I'm going to do. I might change... We could have also done the 0-2s in a different way. We could have only made a rule that links together 3 1s in a row, because linking together every section of 2 1s feels unhelpful. Because you only need it sometimes. So, like, if a 1 is connected to a 1 is connected to a 1. What we're going to do is we're going to go back. We're going to change that rule around. I think you can... So we'll edit rule. I think you can add a region by double-clicking. Yeah. And so then we have to think about what this would look like. Go away. So they have 1 is connected to the 1, which is connected to that one, and then there's pieces of each that are in the middle. And they don't loop back around. That's right. No, that one's 0. Yeah. So in one like this, let's ask ourselves, actually, will this even work? The bomb is there. Those are satisfied and the bomb is there. No, because we kind of end up with the 0-2 thing in 2 different places. Is this now a 0-2 here? No, that's not right. Because that's 0 or 2. It's 0 or... No, not 0 or 4. That wouldn't make sense. So that's 0 or 2. That's 0 or 2 separately. But they can't both be 2. I don't know if there's a rule you can make connecting those two. I do believe, however, if we now add one more, and I just know this is the shape because I've seen it before, but like this is a chain of ones all connecting to each other. I'm pretty sure that will be a 0, too. Because it's kind of like a parity thing, like odd, even, odd, even. Let's update that rule so it's not quite as messy. We may need one linking together 3 ones. We also forgot our don't cares. I don't think we care about those overlaps. Or those. Those are the bits on the end that extend past. Yeah, that's still a 0 or 2 in those regions. Yeah, Dave, I remember our conversation about this. Okay, so back to the level. Go ahead and refresh regions, and you can see now it's not all messy. Still pretty sure this one is useless, so there has to be a rule we can make in here. I just didn't find it. And now there's no 0-2s that are cluttering things up, because I don't think they were helpful for this level. Remember, we only needed those 0-2s because there were 5 regions, not because the logic required them. Anyway. So... I'm guessing these are clear. Let's imagine this was a bomb. So if that was a bomb, then these would all be blank. No, because we could still do that. That would actually work. Same thing here. This is perfectly symmetrical. So if that was a bomb, the 4 would have its bombs there. Can this be a bomb? Aha! That cannot be a bomb. And that one could. So this is clear, because if this was a bomb, these would all be 0s, and we wouldn't have enough room for 4. So that's clear. That could overlap any amount. Pretty sure these overlaps don't matter. These all don't matter. That needs to be 3. Yeah. Cool. Okay. A new mess. The untangle. Oh, I remember this one. I remember this one confusing me. I don't remember what to do. That's the great part about this game, is it's confusing enough that you don't even... Having solved it once doesn't necessarily mean you can do it again. I haven't unlocked the hide button yet, but I would normally hide this one and this one because they're doing nothing. I think I remember trying to do this more efficiently and I couldn't get there. I think you need all 4 regions. Or you need to make sub-regions and then use those, which is effectively the same thing. Because essentially this one is telling me there is maximum 1 bomb here, which means minimum 1 bomb here, which means maximum 1 bomb here, which means minimum 1 bomb here. I think you do need all 4 steps to get to know... And why are they all different shades of purple? Come now. I think you can change the colors, can't you? How do you change the colors again? Good golly. Like, couldn't you pick differenter colors? I know that the different amounts, the different numbers have different colors, differenter colors. What's the right word? Yeah, exactly. Same number equals same shade, which I actually don't know if I like that. Yeah, being colorblind would be rough. At least the highlight helps. Apophenia, nice. Yep, you go play the demo. You know a game's good when your viewers are leaving to go play it. Anyway, okay, back to the rule. We know that it ends up with a bomb over here. at the end of the day. I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, it agrees. Now we just need to figure out the overlaps. I'm pretty sure the overlaps don't matter all the way along. That matters that it's only one cell. Can I do something with the plus there? I don't know which plus you're referring to. So let's see. The question of could there be other overlaps between these things is where it starts to get really hairy. Like, could this two have bits that went off into its own space? And I think that's a no. Yeah, that's a no. Same for... Oh, but that one could. See, what the heck? Why could that one have bits that go off into its own space? Why would that be okay? Doesn't make any sense to me. This one could have a bit that goes off into here, and it wouldn't matter. Oh, because this one is forcing minimum into one here, and this one's forcing minimum into one here. Yeah, so that doesn't matter. And now with the overlaps, there's a lot of options. But this one, wrap back around and overlap with the two? No. Wait. We could? See, what the heck? What the heck? How could that work? Because we know there's a bomb in that section of the two. Oh, but it's not overlapping with this section. I'm being a dummy. That would be like if the two went into this cell and the one went into this cell. That would be fine because we know the bombs aren't there. It's so interesting sometimes. Because overlaps only matter if that's where bombs could be. Is that even a true sentence? God, I love this game. Like, those can't overlap. So that would be the overlap of these two. So that's this region cannot also overlap with any of this region. That's because there's a bomb in this region. Yeah, see, we know there's a bomb in this region here, and that's why that can't overlap with this. Good golly gosh. And I could just make the rule instead of hunting out all the don't cares. But I kind of want to, you know? Like, why does this not matter? So that region could overlap with this region. Why? So the 1 and the 2 both extend to here. And that 2 could also extend there? Feels like it changes the logic. Isn't it? Or maybe it's impossible and the don't care is essentially just being a 0. No, it's possible. That could overlap 1 and it still would be true. Because the other thing about the don't cares is, I think if it's an impossible scenario, like the amount of bombs wouldn't work to make such a shape, it just counts it as a 0. Clicking a button is so much easier than thinking this through. Yeah, I could progress a lot faster if I was not asking these questions. But I'm actually really curious about this one. How could that work? So, because we know there's a bomb here and a... Well, no. There's a maximum of 1 bomb here. And a minimum of 1 bomb here. And so if this also... Then it would... Minimum and maximum would overlap there? I don't even know. I guess it would still work. Same way? I don't know. I don't understand that one, but we're going with it. And this one is just... Yeah, brain explode. And we're like not even partway into the game. We're like still in the tutorial, basically. I am going to have to stop asking these questions at some point. And maybe I just won't make the rules general if I don't understand them. Maybe we'll go with that, because we can always make more rules and it's more interesting. Okay. So, let's see. Oh, here's a pretty simple one. A 1 is contained in a 4. So we know that the other three are bombs. We don't care how many overlaps are there. I think these can't be changed. Oh, that one... Yeah, the 1 could extend out, but we'd still know the bomb is in it, because there's at least one bomb in that overlap region. That's fine. Okay, that's a mess. What's going on here? 5 and a 1. There we go, same scenario. Don't care, don't care. Those are bombs. Solved. And now what is this? Ugly. Ugly. Oh, I remember this one. I got stuck on this one for a while. There's like these weird overlapping claw sections. This is useless. We can also go into squares now, which... Similar logic, but bigger numbers for these ones, and then these ones... Wait, you haven't solved this one? Oh wow, you're not as much of a completionist as I am. I didn't even go ahead until I had solved this one. I'm trying to remember anything about how I did it, though. So this one is telling us that essentially these can't both be bombs. That's essentially all it's telling us. So this one is giving us information about these 2 3s. This 2... mostly telling us we can't have this and this and this on. That may not be useful. This 3 has to have 1 on for this region because there's only 2 outer squares, cells. So at least 1 on here means at most 2 out here. That doesn't really tell me much about that. I want to say it has to do with like this, 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 and this. I feel like that's where we focus. And at this point, you could just start, you know, randomly clicking clears and see if any of them make a true rule. We're not going to do that yet. We might succumb to that at some point. Okay, so first question. I usually start with the 1s because that's the easiest to like logic out. Could the bomb be here? The bomb is here. That means this is... It's hard to like logic this all out. If the bomb is here, those... They're not question marks, but the game auto-fills with question marks. Maybe I should select 0. Then those are zeros. No, they're not zeros. They don't have bombs. That's different than a 0. I'll just use that to mark they don't have bombs. And if those don't have bombs, then the 3 has to have bombs. There's 3 left in this one. Here, here, and oop, wrong button. There, there, and there. That fulfills the 2 completely. So there's no bombs there or there, and that breaks the 3. Aha! That works. So we undo back to the beginning of this nonsense. Oop. And then that means that is clear. And it's correct! I have no idea what kinds of regions could be don't care, and I don't care. We're just going with it. Oh no! That didn't help. There's an E. You can MS Paint with F5? Oh, but you can't paint on these. But you can paint on this. How do you... Oh, right click to erase. Not a lot of features to the MS Paint, but it does work. It's fun. Okay, so that rule didn't help. So we're gonna go back to the drawing board here. I mean, I guess it technically helped, but we have to focus on what the 1 is doing with the overlap of these 3s, which is this square and this square. So... Well, you didn't say Alt F5, Dave. I wasn't quite born yesterday, but these are not cleared. Okay, so can the 1... I feel like it doesn't matter which one the 1 is in. Right? Well, let's find out. Can the bomb be here? We already know the bomb can't be there, ever. Can the bomb be here? Alt F4 opens MS Minesweeper. Can the bomb be here? So if the bomb's here, that doesn't really tell us anything about the 3, and that's then confusing. It does mean these 3 are bombs because now the 1 is cleared out. And that means the 2 is cleared out. And that breaks. Aha! That is good. Okay. So we can clear both of these sections. Wait, no. I'm dumb. Why does that not work? Hold on. What did I do wrong? If the bomb is here, there's no bomb there or there. This thing needs 3. All 3 have to be in those ones. That fulfills the 2. Oh, I am dummy. This 3 is satisfied because it sees all the way down to here. Oh, okay. Well, that's not it then. How about the bomb being here? So those are clear. This 3 is forced. 2 is fulfilled. 3 is satisfied. So those are both options. Okay. Unfortunate. Okay, so the 1 is useless information at this point. Because we know the bomb could be there. And we already have the rule to clear it. So we're going to remove the 1. It's now telling me nothing. And that means we need another rule. Have I played the abstract puzzle game Insight? I have not. Let's see. Hey, Lodro, thanks so much for the sub. 6 months. Goes by fast. So I'm just going to do this because I'm curious if I missed anything. Okay, no. So there's no rules to be had within these 3 regions, and we already determined the 1 is useless. So we do need to add in another region. Which... I don't even remember which regions we have. How many regions even are there? Good golly. I think we're just missing this one, right? Yeah, we have that one. Have that one. Have that one. Yeah. And that one's useless. Okay. So something about all 4 of them together. It's abstract and geometrical. That sounds fun. I do love me some puzzle games. So what the heck is going on here? And now we have to somehow figure out a rule. Now I'm guessing the 2 has its bombs in the 3s somewhere. Because if it didn't, let's say these were both bombs, it's almost impossible, right? Like, that would mean these are cleared. Yeah, I mean, that's just straight up not possible, because this 3 doesn't have enough extra squares, cells. So there is at least 1 bomb here, which means there is at most 2 bombs here. That doesn't tell us anything about that. What if both bombs are here? Both bombs are here. This 3 is okay. Head hurts. This 3 is satisfied. 2 of the 3. This 3 has one of 3. Yeah, that doesn't tell me much. Gotta focus on specifics. Like, let's look at this 3, maybe. There's only 4 possible ways for the bombs to be arranged, so maybe that can help me out. So, like, we'll go with starting out with different blanks. So, like, can that one be the not bomb, is the question here. And that would make those clear. There would be a single bomb out there, which is fine. And there would be 2 bombs out there, which is fine. Okay, so that one can be the clear one. Okay, moving on to the next one. Can the second one be the clear one? So if that's the clear one, let's see, we know this 3 has a bomb there. The 2 has another bomb somewhere, so now we have to go into even more branching paths of logic. I'm kind of glad they only let you deal with 4 regions, because if you had 5 regions to deal with, you'd even have more branching logic and confusions. And I gotta say, this is already enough. So the 2 cannot get its second bomb here. So we know that's the empty one. Oh, okay, then this 3 is fixed there. The 2 is happy, those are empty, everything's happy, okay. So far, so not good. Can the empty one be here? If the empty one's there, the 2 is satisfied. 3 is satisfied. This 3 has its bombs there. This 3 has 2 extra bombs there. That works. And finally, and hopefully helping me, can that be the empty square? That would force 2 bombs there. That's fine. That would force... So this has 2 more bombs. Could both go there, and that could have a bomb. Or it could be 1 and 1. And those are both fine. Okay, so this 3 could have its empty square anywhere, is what that tells me. So none of these can be bombed or cleared. What next? Could look at the 2. I think there's a lot of options for the 2. I'm guessing that's impossible, right? Yeah, there's no way that doesn't work, right? If those were both bombs, because then this 3 couldn't be fulfilled. It would only have 2 squares left. So those can't both be bombs. Can they both be not bombs? AKA, are they clear? So we'll do the empty thing again. If that's empty and these are both bombs, does that work? So... forces that. That's cleared. They can be not bombs. Shut up, Dave. My head hurts too much for you to say things like that. I can't even tell if that's real or serious or both, or joking or serious or both. Anyway, this 3 can be fulfilled like so. That one gets us the... Okay, so that works. The worst part is you can make a mistake while you're doing this, and then you're really up the creek without a paddle. Okay, can that be the clear one of the 2? Meaning that... So the whole reason I'm doing this is that would prove... Wait, what would it prove? What am I even proving? I love this game. It melts your mind. Hardcore. But man, holy cow. What am I even proving? So I just proved that this can be a not bomb. Like, what is the point of that? I guess we're looking at all the options for the 2. We know that's not an option. We're looking at the options for the 2s. Okay, we're just looking at our options. So can that one be blank, and can these 2 be blanks? That would make this blank. That would make these 2 bombs. That would make either of these a bomb, and that can get, it's either 3rd or 2nd and 3rd bomb, so that works fine. And so that worked with this as the blank, and will it work with this as the blank? 2 bombs, 3rd goes there for the 3 region. 2's happy. This 3... happy. Yeah, okay. So all of those are possible. What about only one of them having a bomb? I should have been doing this first, because we know we can't have both bombs here, and if we also prove we can't have one bomb here, we can clear these 2. That would be helpful. So can we have 1 bomb in each, and then close off the other 2 regions? That will tell me some things. That would do that. That works. Right? Does that work? So I'm pretty sure what that means. Just to confirm I haven't made a mistake, I can't clear that. Yep, that's what that means. Okay, on to the next thing. Yeah, this is why you've been avoiding 4 regions at a time. Fair enough. So, as far as I know, we can't clear any of the 2s. Let me just make sure we proved that properly. We did. And we can't clear any of the 3s on the left. Also true. Okay, good. I haven't made a mistake so far in my proving of what I don't know. So now, that's actually good. That means we can't clear any of these. I'm guessing you can't clear these, right? Yeah, that would be ridiculous. You can't clear that because it wouldn't fit. You can't clear that because it wouldn't fit. So have I... Is there no rule to be had in all of this? That is correct. Big oof. Does that mean this one isn't useless? And I was wrong about the one being useless? Or does it mean we need to make a sub-region? No, this one is definitely useless. I know this one is useless because of the... Whenever a 1 pokes into something with just one of its cells, it's doing nothing. This one, however, I thought we deemed... Oh, you know what? It's not useless because of the interaction with all 4 regions. We deemed it's useless in its interaction with these 3 regions only. Fudge monkeys. So that means we need to make a new region somehow. Okay. Once we solve this puzzle, we are going to be done with the YouTube episode for sure and take a little snack break for my brain. So what can we do here? We need to make a new region or at least understand something about new regions. I wish you could can you highlight? Can't. I wish you could like control click to highlight multiples at the same time. To be brighter. Or like highlight cells. Because I want to look at just these 3 and the 1 for a second. Try to understand a little bit more about that. Because this is important. This little section right here. You can later. Okay. Good to know. That's fine. That's not too big of a spoiler. So what is this really saying? This is saying, since there's only 1 here, there's going to be 2 in here and 2 in here. Is it possible for both of those to be double bombs? Yes. Is it possible for this one to be a bomb? Apparently it's always a bomb, but why? So if this one... Wait. Hold on. Did Did I just... Am I a dummy? I think I'm a dummy. I had this up earlier, didn't I? And I just missed it? So if that's a bomb... That's not... That's good. And that one is a bomb. And if that's a bomb... That's not. Those are bombs. Dear goodness me. That's always a bomb. And that will help a lot. Good gravy. Okay, now things look a lot simpler. And in fact, we're chained together now in a kind of a weird way. Very weird way, actually. What do I do with this now? Well, let's start with the 4 that touch. We'll ignore the 3 for now. I feel like we've been here before. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Okay, we'll do the. I feel like either of those could be a bomb. But if that's a bomb, bomb. See, that's the thing I haven't been doing is marking down which ones are bombs in these scenarios. I've just been trying to clear, but I haven't been trying to, like, bomb. Oh, that breaks it. Hold on. Ooh. Proof by contradiction time. Okay, so if there's a bomb there, this 2 needs to fill both of those, otherwise it's not satisfied. That satisfies the 1 here. And then this 2 needs to have 2 bombs here, breaking the 1. Which means, this must be cleared. What? So I missed it again. What mistake did I make? That's a bomb. That has to be clear. This... I see the overlaps wrong sometimes. Because it can... This 2 already has a bomb here. And so it can be here or here. So we did prove that it can't be both. I think we proved it can't be that one. But it could be that one. Clearing that. The 2 has these 2 and that's clear. Okay, so in this scenario, we've got 4 bombs around the edges and the bottom 2 are clear. Let's see what happens if we bomb this guy. That's clear. So that one's a bomb in both scenarios. Interesting note. This clears out these 2, and that's a bomb. This is a bomb in both scenarios. Okay, we've got some information. Bomb. Okay. Still not solved. Why me? Why me? This game, man. Now the 2 is useless information, though. That's fun. So that 3 then was always useless. We never needed it. Okay. So now I got a chain of 1s. And with some gap in the middle. I'm pretty sure if we have a 1 in the gap, then that breaks. Okay, if we have 1 in the gap, these are both blanks, which means these are both 1, which doesn't work. Yeah, we can't have a gap, or we can't clear. What am I saying? We can't have a bomb in the gap, which means we have to clear it. Gap is clear, thank you. And it doesn't matter how big that would be, and I don't think these overlaps matter in terms of size. I think a lot of the zeros matter, but probably not all of them. Yeah, not all of them do. Like, what even is this one? This one could have an overlap with that one, and it wouldn't matter. Because that wouldn't be a bomb. I don't know, I'm ignoring that. But we solved it. Oh, we solved it. and this game is amazing. Go buy it. I will put a link in the YouTube description, and I'll take a little stream break here and get a snack, and I'll be back in a few minutes. And for those of you on YouTube, as always, let me know what you think in the comments about Bomb. Go, oh, and I didn't mention, there's a demo. There's a free demo, and it lets you play a lot. Everything I've played so far today is included in the demo, plus a lot more. I think you get all the way to here for free. All of these can get unlocked, so you can get quite a bit of the game for free. So you can definitely decide if you like it or not without paying anything. So go download the demo, buy it if you like it, support the developer, and I will see you guys in the next video.